So I'm going to put together a $290 gaming PC using a Dell Optiplex, and will it be able to run Doom Eternal? I have no idea, I haven't put it together yet, but we're sure as hell going to find out, and it's going to be fun. Let's get into it.
Skip it up and down up.
Alright, first off, I gotta give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, Upcycle Computer Works. They keep good working machines out of landfills by refurbishing them and upgrading them. And then they sell those machines at a low cost to their customers. And what's really cool about them is for every 10 computers they sell, they donate 1 computer to needy children who can't afford their own. And especially at times like this where kids are learning in a virtual classroom at home with everything that's going on, it's really important that they have a computer, and Upcycle Computer Works donates 1 of them for every 10 they sell. And if you click the link in the description or just go to their website and use the code EXPOSED, you could save $10 off your order. And not only are their PCs priced fairly, shipping to the lower 48 of the United States is free. Again, the 48 lower states in the US, shipping is totally free, which is amazing. You'll never get that kind of deal on eBay. So what kind of specs are we working with here? What the hell am I trying to run Doom Eternal with? Well, I'll tell you. The PC that Upcycle sent me is the Dell Optiplex 720, which after discount is $129 shipped. And what are this machine's specs? Well, the processor is a Core i5 4590, which is clocked at 3.3 gigahertz, which has 4 cores and 4 threads. It also comes with 16 gigabytes of DDR3 memory, which is clocked at 1600 megahertz, and it comes with a 7200 RPM 500 gigabyte hard drive, which we're going to use for storage. For the operating system, the solid state drive I chose as an Inland Professional 128 gigabyte drive, $30 shipped. It's not super fast, but it's still a hell of a lot better than using a mechanical drive for the operating system. 520 megabytes a second read and 410 megabytes per second write. And this super ugly graphics card you see here in front of you is an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650. This is an OEM part from a Dell that I don't believe was ever used before. It was just plucked out of the machine. The 1650 has 896 CUDA cores, its base clock is 1485 megahertz, and its boost clock is 1665 megahertz. There's 4 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory with a 128-bit memory bus, and its memory bandwidth is 128 gigabytes a second. And the nice thing about it is that its TDP is only 75 watts, so it doesn't need any external power. It gets all of its power right from the PCI Express slot, which in turn means you don't need to upgrade the power supply in this Optiplex. Altogether, the grand total for all of these parts, give or take, it's going to vary where you're from, shipping, tax, etc., is $290. Again, I repeat, depending on where your location is, whether it be throughout the world or in the States, the price on the computer and this build for you to put it together may vary. Well, anyway, I'm going to go over to my top camera now, plop this bad boy open, and start putting all the parts together, and then we're going to play some games and see how it performs.
Alright, sped up Richie boy here is putting all the parts in. The thermal paste was a little crusty on this bad boy, so I took off the CPU cooler, cleaned off all the crusty thermal paste, and put some fresh thermal paste on the processor. Now I just fasten the CPU heatsink back on. These stock heatsinks from Dell are really easy to remove and put back on. Now I'm installing the solid state drive, and what I did, because I didn't have an extra SATA cable hanging around, is I just disconnected the DVD drive that comes with this Optiplex because it's 2020. I personally don't need an optical drive, and I used that SATA cable to connect up the SSD. I made sure it was on the higher bandwidth SATA port on the motherboard, and I just plugged in SATA power and used double-sided tape to stick the SSD because I didn't have a bracket for it to the bottom of the inside of the computer case. So it'll stay. It's not the most elegant way to do it, but whatever, it works. And now I'm doing the insanely simple installation of the GTX 1650. Doesn't require any external power from the power supply, gets all of its power from the PCI Express slot. If you could put a game cartridge in a console, you could install this graphics card. It's really simple. And now, kids, let's play some Doom Eternal and see if this computer can handle it. Stay tuned.
Against all the evil that hell can conjure, all the wickedness that mankind can produce, we will send unto them only you. Rip and tear until it is done.
All right, so final verdict time. What do I think of the $290 gaming PC I put together out of a Dell Optiplex 7020? It played Doom amazing. I did not think this PC was going to handle Doom Eternal at 60 FPS at the lowest settings, but not only did it handle Doom Eternal at 1080p, it did it at high settings at 60 FPS. Yes, I had dynamic resolution on, but it stayed 99.9% of the time above 60 FPS. As a matter of fact, it would have been 100% of the time, but I think the hard drive, there was some I/O going on, and that dropped the frame rate down to like 49 frames a second for a millisecond, but that was it. I was pleasantly surprised. It was a super smooth gaming experience. And again, it goes to prove that you don't have to break the bank to game on a PC. Here is an old Dell with an i5 4590 in it, 16 gigs of RAM, and a 1650, a GTX 1650, and it handled Doom Eternal at 1080p at high settings just fine. It was 100% playable, and I'm shocked. This is a hell of a deal. Huge shout out again to Upcycle Computer Works. If you want to get a Dell Optiplex like this, you could save $10 off your order, or if you don't use the link in the description, you could actually use the word exposed at checkout. And for the lower 48 of the United States, there's free shipping as well, which makes it an even better bargain. Huge shout out to them for sending out this computer. And this is Rich of ReviewTechUSA signing out. Have a good one. You could play Doom Eternal on a PC super cheap, and this is proof.
Hey, if you enjoy my content, consider becoming a ReviewTechUSA member. I'll have a link below in the description. I live stream now on this channel all the time, and it gives you access to cool emoticons to use as well while I live stream. Again, link below in the description. Thank you for your continued support.